The American people deserve to know what is happening in our skies. It is long overdue.
3 former military officials fronting the US Congress to share their truths.
What I personally witnessed was very disturbing. It's perfectly white, smooth, no windows.
These sightings are not rare or isolated.
What they're talking about?
Unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
UAPs, aka UFOs, or
the so-called flying saucers.
Turns out Agent Mulder was on the money.
Much as you try to bury it, the truth is out there.
In a highly anticipated hearing, whistleblowers shared mystifying claims about the phenomena.
UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported.
What percentage of UAP sightings, in your belief, go unreported by our pilots?
I would estimate we're somewhere near 5% reporting, perhaps.
Accusations the Pentagon's covering up a decades-long program to retrieve crashed objects.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
The US military denies claims of a cover-up, but whistleblowers say speaking out has put their lives at risk.
It was very brutal and very unfortunate, some of the tactics they used to hurt me both professionally and personally, to be quite frank. Yeah.
Claiming bodies of alien beings had been recovered from UAPs.
I like to use the term non-human. I don't like to denote origin.
Extraterrestrial enthusiasts lining the halls of Congress to witness the out-of-this-world testimony.
I mean, it is fascinating to think that, maybe we're the ones in the ant farm.
And he's not alone in thinking we're not alone. About 42% of Americans believe that UFOs exist. A whopping 1 in 10 say they've seen one. 510 sightings have been recorded by the US government since 2004.
Now, with that many stars, you tell me there can't be life? There has to be.
So life forms in general, including simple life, sort of bugs and single-celled organisms that we see on Earth, that they formed very quickly after the Earth was formed on our planet. And so there's every reason to think that life itself is common in the galaxy and in the universe as a whole. But traveling between the stars, that's actually something that may require technologies that seem to be not just kind of impossible because we don't know how to make them, but may actually be forbidden by the laws of physics themselves. So, that's a much bigger ask. So I think there's interesting things to be learned from this, but I'm really not expecting to reveal that there are dead aliens in a freezer in Roswell.
Well, can I say that story was going very well till we interviewed Richard Easter, who is obviously an accomplished cosmologist, but couldn't we have found someone who actually believed in UFOs? There was too much, I want to believe, there's too much logic in his analysis of the situation.
That's the real interesting thing about media, I think, is that, just actual experts are quite boring because they give you an actual reasoned response. I want to hear from more nutters who are just kind of guessing, because I want to believe, and I do believe, but we have very little evidence at the moment.
The point he makes, that it's actually physically impossible for spacecraft to get from that far away because you'd have to break the speed of light. That's very hard to argue with.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I have a problem with, these bloody laws of physics that are forbidding this.
Yeah.
That's so boring, physics. Come on.
They are only the laws of physics as we know them now, though. Like the knowledge of science is always evolving. Maybe those laws will change.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a nice way of thinking about it, isn't it?
It is nice to think it could be possible, because it would be far more interesting if we did have aliens, right? We can surely all agree.
Well, totally. And if you want to maintain that belief, don't speak to anyone who knows anything about the topic.